Be prepared. You thought the full moon was over, but the real shift just began. While most are busy moving on, something beneath the surface is still unraveling. A subtle, strange energy lingers in the air. You've felt it, haven't you? That unexplainable exhaustion, the vivid dreams, the sudden urge to withdraw. These aren't random symptoms. They're echoes of an activation you weren't meant to understand right away, only feel. The strawberry moon opened more than light in the sky. It unlocked codes buried deep in your soul. And now, 7 strange things are beginning to happen. Why are you seeing the same numbers again and again? Why is someone from your past suddenly in your thoughts or dreams? Why does your body feel heavy one moment and electric the next? This isn't your imagination. It's your recalibration. And the longer you ignore it, the louder it gets. The truth is, the moon gave you something. And now, it's asking if you're ready to receive it fully. But first, it's removing the noise, the illusions, the old stories. So if everything feels weird, good. You're not breaking down. You're breaking open. And the 7 strange things you're about to experience are not mistakes, they're messages. You thought it was over? It's just beginning. The full moon came and went, but deep down, something in you knows it's not over. While the world moves on, pretending the moon's glow was just a poetic moment in the sky, you can feel it. A quiet intensity that refuses to fade. A subtle hum beneath your skin. A feeling that something was set in motion and it hasn't stopped. That's because this wasn't just a full moon. It was an opening. A sacred unlocking. The strawberry moon didn't just shine light, it activated something inside you. And now, as the days unfold, you're beginning to witness the aftershocks. Strange things are happening. Your sleep feels different. People from the past are surfacing, in dreams, in thoughts, even through sudden messages. You're experiencing moments that feel surreal, symbolic, heavy with meaning even when they seem ordinary. And the truth is, you're not going backwards, you're being redirected. Have you felt more emotional without knowing why? Cried at things that don't usually touch you? Or sensed that someone is thinking about you, missing you, even without proof? That's not imagination, that's resonance. You are picking up on the afterglow of a lunar portal that didn't close, it simply turned inward. The illusion is that full moons end when the light fades. But the moon works in rhythm, not in isolation. The peak was just the announcement. The real transformation is unfolding now, quietly, deeply, invisibly. And if you're feeling confused, ungrounded, or overly sensitive, it's because your body and spirit are still adjusting to what was opened. This is the beginning of the purge. The moon's light showed you what needs to go. Now, the energy is helping you remove it, and removal isn't always graceful. It can look like irritability, unexpected triggers, discomfort in familiar spaces. You're not broken, you're breaking through. This energy will pull away everything that no longer matches your truth. And sometimes that includes people, patterns, even identities you've held for too long. Don't be surprised if you wake up feeling like you no longer recognize your own story. That's because a new one is forming, one that's more aligned with who you are becoming. So no, it's not over. The real work, the real magic has just begun. Let the confusion come. Let the emotions surface. Don't try to go back to normal. That version of you is dissolving. And in its place, something ancient, luminous, and whole is preparing to rise. You were riding high on the wave of the full moon's light. And then, suddenly, you weren't. There was a crash, a drop, a heaviness that didn't match the spiritual clarity you expected. One day you felt inspired, electrified by the moon's energy, and the next, you felt low, tired, maybe even emotionally flat. And it made you wonder, did I lose something? But this dip isn't a failure, it's a recalibration. The moon opens, then it empties. What you're feeling now is not the absence of energy. It's the processing of everything it awakened in you. Your system, both energetic and emotional, is integrating the download. And like any powerful software update, it needs space, stillness, and silence. That's why you may feel slower, disconnected from motivation, or emotionally numb. You're not broken, you're buffering. Have you felt yourself needing more sleep, yet waking up still tired? Do you have bursts of energy that are followed by sudden crashes without any logical explanation? This isn't laziness or burnout. It's a deep purge that's happening behind the veil of your conscious awareness. The moon stirred the sediment of your soul, and now everything that was hidden is floating to the surface. And the emotional crash, that's not a step backward. It's your nervous system adjusting to a new vibration. You've been attuned to pain, urgency, and survival for so long that when peace tries to enter, it feels like emptiness. But this space is sacred. It's the womb of your next version. Don't rush to fill it with distractions or force yourself to snap out of it. You are not meant to bounce back. You're meant to shed. Your soul has received instructions, but your body needs time to catch up. That's why you may feel off without being able to define why. You're not just healing wounds, you're realigning timelines. And that kind of shift will always ask for your full surrender, not your resistance. Have you noticed your moods swinging without clear triggers? Do you cry, then feel peaceful minutes later? Do you feel waves of grief about things you thought were already healed? These are signs that deep pockets of suppressed energy are finally being cleared. The moon didn't just open your heart, it opened your archives. And yes, this part feels weird, anticlimactic, confusing. But this is the part most people skip. The quiet post-moon dip that holds the real gift. It strips away your addiction to highs and teaches you the sacred value of stillness, of being empty enough to be filled, but this time with something real. So don't fight the crash. Rest inside it. Breathe inside it. Your light is not gone. It's just being rewired into something more stable, more aligned, more deeply true. And when the energy rises again, because it will be yours. Not borrowed, not reactive, yours. Your body has been whispering things your mind can't yet understand. Since the full moon, you may have noticed something strange. The things that once felt normal now feel loud. The foods you used to crave now make you feel heavy. Certain people's voices feel sharp in your ears. Environments that once comforted you now seem to drain you. And the strangest part? You can't explain it, only feel it. This isn't coincidence. It's vibrational sensitivity. The moon didn't just shift the sky, it shifted you. Your entire system, physical, energetic, emotional, is now attuned to a different frequency, one that doesn't tolerate noise, falsehood, or energetic clutter. This new frequency isn't more powerful, it's more honest. And honesty, when you've been conditioned to ignore your inner cues, can feel like discomfort. Have you felt sudden aversions to certain foods or drinks? Has your skin become reactive to products you've always used? Are you suddenly overwhelmed by loud music, crowded rooms, or even strong perfumes? These are not quirks. These are alerts. Your body is no longer willing to be a container for what's out of sync with your soul. Even your relationship with time might be changing. You may feel rushed in moments that seem slow and then suspended in moments that pass too fast. Your inner clock is syncing with something cosmic, something lunar. And this makes your earthly body feel both ancient and newborn at the same time. You're not just living, you're decoding. This heightened sensitivity is a sign that you are in deep integration. And with that comes vulnerability. You may find yourself more easily startled, more emotionally porous, more aware of your heartbeat, your breath, the way your stomach tenses in certain spaces. Your body has become a radar. And while that can feel overwhelming, it's also sacred. Because now, nothing false can hide inside you. You'll begin to notice the subtleties that others miss. The energy of a room before you step inside. The hidden intentions behind a smile. The way your chest tightens when someone says the right words, but with the wrong energy. You're not paranoid, you're present. And this is the moon's deeper gift. Not just to reveal what's in the sky, but to awaken what's always been within. The intuitive body, the ancient instrument, the living compass. So don't numb this sensitivity. Don't label it as too much. Let it guide you. Let it teach you. Let it break the patterns of self-betrayal that kept you saying yes when your body screamed no. Your vessel is sacred, and now, more than ever, it's speaking clearly. The question is, will you listen? You keep seeing the same numbers again and again. 111, 222, 10, 12. Maybe it started slowly, but now it's constant. You check the clock and it's another mirror hour. A receipt total matches your birthday. You see the same sequence on a license plate, a building, a dream. And it doesn't feel random. It feels personal. Like someone or something is trying to get through. That's because it is. These aren't coincidences, they're codes, messages delivered through the only language your rational mind won't try to override: symbols. In this post-full moon phase, the universe has shifted from subtle to structured. The portal is still open, but now it's speaking through precision. And the codes aren't meant to explain, they're meant to awaken. Have you noticed that when you see a certain number, there's always a feeling attached? Like an echo in your heart, or a moment of stillness that pulls you inward. That's not imagination, that's alignment. Each number holds a frequency, and now that your field is more sensitive, you're receiving the transmission. 111 may come when you're on the edge of a new decision. 333, when you need confirmation that your guides are near. 555, when the discomfort you're in is actually sacred change. And mirror hours, 1111, 2222, 0333, they're cosmic checkpoints. They ask, are you awake now? But the most important thing isn't just the numbers you see, it's when you see them. What were you thinking? Feeling? Who were you texting? What were you about to say yes to? The number appears not just as a signal, but as a mirror to your current frequency. It's your soul's way of saying, pay attention. You're closer than you think. And sometimes the codes feel urgent, repetitive, even overwhelming. That's because you've ignored softer nudges. And now, the signs are turning up the volume. This is how energy communicates when words fail. It knows you're waking up, but it doesn't want you to fall back asleep. Have you ever felt like a number was following you? Like it meant something you couldn't quite decode? Or perhaps you've dreamed of numbers, only to wake up and see them in real life. These aren't projections, they're activations. The moon opened the channel, and now the data is flowing. It's non-linear, intuitive, rhythmic, and it requires presence more than logic. So don't obsess over finding the perfect meaning. Let the numbers be what they are, living symbols. Think of them as breadcrumbs across dimensions, guiding you home. Let them pull your attention inward. Let them interrupt your autopilot. Let them remind you that something intelligent is weaving through your life, and you're finally in sync to notice it. You are not imagining this. You are remembering how to read it. And the more you trust the signals, the clearer the message becomes. You thought you had already dealt with that old pain. You believed that wound was closed, that story complete. But suddenly, without warning, something rises from beneath the surface. A memory, a pattern, a trigger you thought you had mastered. And it speaks in a voice you recognize, but didn't expect to hear again. This is the shadow speaking. The full moon didn't just illuminate the beautiful parts of your path. It shone directly into the places you've hidden from. The quiet corners of shame, fear, rage, grief, and now, in the silence that follows, the shadow begins to stir. Not to punish you, not to pull you backward, but to ask, are you finally ready to see me with love? Have you been feeling unexpectedly irritated by small things? Have old relationship dynamics returned, even in new people? Have you caught yourself reacting in ways that feel out of character? Sharp, defensive, avoidant, numb? That's not regression, that's revelation. The parts of you you once buried are now rising for reintegration. You are not less spiritual because your shadow is louder. In fact, the opposite is true. The more light you hold, the more your shadow reveals itself, not as an enemy, but as a companion in your evolution. You cannot embody wholeness while exiling the parts of you that learned how to survive. Those defense mechanisms, those old stories, those wounds that still ache, they're not your flaws. They're the evidence of everything you've walked through. And now, they want to be witnessed, not erased. The moon activated your subconscious vault, and what's coming up now is raw, unfiltered, maybe even uncomfortable. You might feel yourself reliving emotions from years ago. Shame you thought you had forgiven. Anger you tried to swallow. Doubt that sounds like your own voice questioning your worth. But don't run from it this time. Listen. Have you found yourself talking to your past in your thoughts, replaying old conversations, feeling emotions you can't explain, sensing the presence of your younger self more vividly than usual? That's not madness. That's memory clearing. Your inner child, your wounded aspects. They are surfacing to be met by your current self, the one who knows more now, the one who can choose differently. This isn't about healing in a linear way. This is about embracing the cyclical nature of your becoming, the spiral of your soul work. Each time the shadow returns, it's not repeating, it's deepening, layer by layer, truth by truth, until what once ruled you now becomes part of your power. So, if your emotions feel volatile, your inner critic louder, your sense of control fading, good. It means the mask is dissolving. It means something real is coming to the surface. Not to shame you, but to free you. Let the shadow speak. Let it scream. Let it weep. Then, listen deeper. Beneath the noise is a voice that was never meant to be silenced. And now, it's finally being heard. You're walking through your day, and suddenly, a wave of emotion hits you. Out of nowhere, a sadness you can't explain, a longing with no clear object, a fear that doesn't belong to this moment. You pause, confused. Where did that come from, you ask yourself? But the truth is, it didn't come from anywhere. It was always there, hidden, dormant, waiting. These are not just moods. They're flashbacks, echoes. The moon didn't just pull the tides, it pulled your timelines. And in the days that followed, many have begun to experience what feels like emotional time travel. You find yourself crying over a childhood version of yourself you haven't thought of in years, or dreaming about someone you loved lifetimes ago, or feeling grief for something that never happened in this life. But it did happen, somewhere, somewhen, and your soul remembers. Have you felt overwhelmed by memories you hadn't revisited in years? Have your dreams become more vivid, cinematic, or full of people who feel familiar but nameless? Have you felt like something or someone from another life is trying to send you a message, not in words, but in sensations? That's not fantasy. That's remembrance. The strawberry moon, in its sweetness, softened the veil. And now, old emotional blueprints are rising to the surface, not to haunt you, but to liberate you. You are clearing karma, not just from this lifetime, but from the ones your soul still carries in its energetic archives. Sometimes this comes as déjà vu, a place you've never been that feels like home. A face that stirs something ancient inside you. Other times it shows up as irrational emotion. Dread with no source, joy with no cause, grief without a name. These are echoes of past moments trying to complete themselves through your presence now. You may feel exhausted without doing anything wrong. You may feel like you're grieving someone who's still alive, or missing someone who never entered your current reality. These aren't mistakes. They're multi-layered releases, and the moon's energy simply gave you the permission and the power to feel them all at once. Your nervous system might not understand it, your logic may try to resist it, but your soul knows. It knows that you're walking with many versions of yourself right now, some healed, some still wounded, some ancient, some unborn. And they're all meeting in this moment, asking you to feel them so they can finally be free. Have you caught yourself saying, "This doesn't feel like me," or "Why am I reacting like this?" Because it isn't just you. It's a former self coming to the surface. Not to stay, but to be acknowledged, to be witnessed, to be let go. This is the sacred task of awakening, to let the past return, not to control you, but to complete itself. And with every flashback you feel, a piece of your soul is being retrieved. You are not just healing, you are remembering who you've always been. You weren't thinking about them. You were focused on healing, moving forward, maybe even detaching. And yet, out of nowhere, they appeared again, not physically, but energetically. In a dream, in a sudden memory, in a wave of emotion that had no visible trigger. Their name crossed your mind. A song you once shared played without warning. You felt them again. This is the post-moon surge. The full moon didn't just open you, it opened the entire field of spiritual connection. And for those walking a twin flame or soulmate path, that means your energetic cords are being activated again, but from a deeper layer. Not the longing, not the obsession, but the recognition, the soul knowing, the unspoken tether that lives beyond time. Have you found yourself feeling intense love without a source? Have you dreamed of your counterpart more vividly than before? Have you suddenly known something about their current emotional state, even without contact? These aren't projections. They're soul transmissions. You are tuned into the same frequency, and now the signal is stronger. Why now? Because the moon cleared interference, emotional noise, mental static, and in the quiet that followed, your connection became louder, not in desperation, but in essence. This surge isn't here to distract you. It's here to remind you that union begins in energy. And right now, you are closer than ever to aligning in a way that transcends form. But that closeness may also come with discomfort. You might feel sudden grief, sensual yearning, confusion, even anger. These are the echoes of unfinished timelines between you being stirred, cleared, healed. Sometimes you'll feel their pain, sometimes their desire, sometimes just their presence, hovering like a shadow you can't shake. And you're not making it up. You're merging. Whether you're in separation or already walking together in the physical, something is shifting beneath the surface. A recognition is rising that you are not two separate stories. You are threads of the same soul cloth, remembering each other more clearly with each energetic upgrade. Have you noticed an urge to reach out? Not from need, but from knowing? Have you received random messages or signs tied to them in uncanny ways? Has your heart opened and closed like a rhythm you can't control? This is the soul mapping itself back to what it once was, but stronger, cleaner, truer. Don't rush to act, don't force reunion. Let the energy do its work. Trust that this surge is not a call to cling, but a call to receive, to allow the frequency of divine connection to move through you, even if they are silent, even if they are far. Because love, this sacred, doesn't require proximity, it requires presence. And you are finally present enough to feel the truth of it. This is not a relapse, it's a return, a remembering, a retuning. And soon, the connection that once hurt will become the very thing that heals. You felt it rising, not as fear, not as sadness, but as a quiet yearning to be alone. A need to unplug, to cancel plans, to pull your energy back from conversations that no longer nourish you, to step away, not because you're breaking, but because something inside you is breaking open. This is the sacred call to isolate. After the full moon, While the world kept spinning louder, your soul whispered softer. And that whisper has grown into an ache. Not for more stimulation, but for sanctuary. You don't want to talk about normal things. You don't want to force smiles or explain your silence. You just want to be alone, undisturbed, aligned. And this isn't depression, it's restoration. Your energy field has been through a massive recalibration. Layers of identity, patterns, expectations, all stripped. And in the absence of what once defined you, your soul is asking for sacred space. Not to escape the world, but to remember who you are without it. Have you noticed how draining it feels to be in certain rooms lately? How fast your body says no to things you used to tolerate? Have you found yourself canceling social plans last minute, not out of anxiety, but intuition? These are not failures. They're signals. The universe is pulling you inward, because that's where your next direction will emerge. The strawberry moon didn't just open a portal to others, it opened a deeper portal to yourself. And now, the noise of the outside world feels like static compared to the clarity trying to reach you from within. Isolation is not emptiness, it's refinement. And right now, you are being refined. There's a reason spiritual initiates across all traditions retreat into silence after revelation. Because integration requires solitude. Not forever, but for long enough to let the new frequency anchor itself before the outside world tries to reshape it. And in this silence, you'll begin to notice things you missed. The way your body speaks before your mind forms words. The way your emotions ebb and flow without needing to be fixed. The way the universe answers questions you didn't ask out loud through signs, sounds, feelings, memories. Have you sat in stillness and suddenly received a clarity you couldn't access in motion? Have you felt more connected to your guides in solitude than in ceremony? Have you wept in silence, not from sadness, but from recognition? That's the recalibration reaching its root. So honor the withdrawal. Don't rush to re-engage. Don't apologize for your distance. This is your reset, your soul rebooting its truth. And when you emerge again, you won't just be rested. You'll be redefined. You are not going backwards by stepping away. You are returning to the one place that can never lie to you, within. And in that sacred space, the final gift of the full moon unfolds: stillness.